For over 500 years, one dynasty ruled the Korean peninsula, shaping its culture, language, and identity in ways that still echo today. This is the story of Joseon, a kingdom born from revolution, which soared to incredible heights of innovation, endured devastating invasions, and ultimately faded into history, leaving behind a legacy that defines modern Korea. Join us as we journey through the dramatic rise and fall of the Joseon Dynasty. Our story begins in 1392. The once mighty Goryeo dynasty was crumbling, plagued by internal corruption and external threats. A brilliant and ambitious general, Seong-gye, saw his moment. After a decisive coup, he seized power, moved the capital to what is now Seoul, and declared the founding of a new dynasty, Joseon. He established Neo-Confucianism as the state ideology, a philosophy that would dictate every aspect of life, from government and social structure to family relationships and personal conduct. This rigid framework brought stability and order, creating a society led by a scholar official class, known as the Yangban, who gained their positions through rigorous civil service exams. The foundation was laid for a kingdom that would last for centuries. The 5th-10th century ushered in Joseon's golden age, and at its heart was one of Korea's most revered historical figures, King Sejong the Great. Ascending the throne in 1418, Sejong was a true Renaissance king, a visionary leader passionate about science, agriculture, and literature. His reign saw incredible advancements. He sponsored the creation of astronomical instruments, water clocks, and even a rain gauge to help farmers. But his most profound achievement was the invention of Hangul, the Korean alphabet. Before Sejong, Koreans used complex Chinese characters, which were difficult for common people to learn. Sejong wanted a writing system for everyone. In 1446, he unveiled Hangul, a brilliantly simple and scientific alphabet that was easy to master. This revolutionary invention dramatically increased literacy and unified the Korean people under a shared written language, an extraordinary gift that remains a cornerstone of Korean identity. But golden ages rarely last forever. As the 16th century drew to a close, Joseon faced its greatest existential threat. In 1592, Japan, under the ambitious warlord Toyotomi Hideyoshi, launched a massive invasion with the ultimate goal of conquering Ming China. The Japanese forces, armed with advanced firearms, swept through the unprepared peninsula. The capital fell within weeks, and the royal court was forced to flee north. Joseon was on the brink of collapse, yet a hero emerged from the sea. Admiral Yi Sun-sin, a brilliant naval strategist, led the Joseon Navy against overwhelming odds. With his innovative turtle ships, the world's first ironclad warships, he achieved a series of miraculous victories, most famously at the Battle of Myeongnyang, where he defeated a fleet of over 300 Japanese ships with just 13 of his own. Admiral Yi's victories crippled Japanese supply lines and, along with the help of Ming Chinese forces, eventually pushed the invaders out. The war left Joseon devastated, its land scorched and its population decimated, but it had survived. The trauma of the Japanese invasions was soon followed by another threat, this time from the north. The rising Manchu people were consolidating power and demanded that Joseon switch its allegiance from the Ming dynasty to them. Joseon's staunchly pro-Ming court refused, leading to 2 Manchu invasions in 1627 and 1636. This time, Joseon was swiftly defeated. The king was forced to perform a humiliating ritual of submission to the Manchu emperor, formally becoming a tributary state to the newly established Qing dynasty. These back-to-back invasions had a profound psychological impact. In response, Joseon turned inward, adopting a strict policy of isolationism. For the next 200 years, it became known as the Hermit Kingdom, cutting off almost all contact with the outside world, except for limited, formal missions to Qing China and a small trading post with Japan. This period of isolation preserved Joseon's unique culture, but also caused it to fall behind the rapidly industrializing West. By the 19th century, the world was knocking on Joseon's door, and it could no longer remain closed. Imperial powers from the West France, the United States, and Britain arrived demanding trade and diplomatic relations. These encounters often turned violent, reinforcing the court's desire to keep foreigners out. Internally, the kingdom was struggling. Years of stagnant bureaucracy, factional strife among the ruling elite, and widespread peasant rebellions weakened the government from within. The final blows came from a newly modernized and expansionist Japan. Through a series of unequal treaties and political manipulations, Japan systematically stripped away Joseon sovereignty. The First Sino-Japanese War fought on Korean soil resulted in China losing its centuries-old influence over the peninsula. Japan's power grew unchecked, culminating in the assassination of Queen Min, a fierce advocate for Korean independence. In a last desperate attempt to reassert its independence and modernize on its own terms, King Sejong declared the founding of the Korean Empire in 1897. He shared the title of king and became an emperor, signaling that Korea was an independent nation equal to China and Japan. He initiated reforms in the military, education, and industry. But it was too little, too late. The empire was an empire in name only. Japan's influence was too deeply entrenched. After its victory in the Russo-Japanese War of 1905, there were no powers left to check Japan's ambitions. That same year, Japan forced Korea into a protectorate treaty, effectively ending its diplomatic independence. The Korean army was disbanded, and Japanese officials took control of the government. The end was swift and tragic. On August 29, 1910, the Japan-Korea Annexation Treaty was signed, and the Joseon Dynasty, after 518 years of rule, officially came to an end. Korea became a colony of the Japanese Empire, beginning a dark period of occupation that would last for 35 years. Though the dynasty fell, its spirit endured. The legacy of Joseon is woven into the very fabric of Korea today. The principles of Confucianism still influence social etiquette and family values. The magnificent palaces in Seoul stand as testaments to its architectural genius. The food, the art, and most importantly, the Hangul alphabet created by King Sejong are all living legacies of this remarkable era. The story of Joseon is a powerful saga of creation, resilience, and identity, a dynasty that, despite its tragic end, laid the cultural and spiritual foundation for the vibrant and dynamic Korea we know today. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys into history.